Welcome back to day 5 of the RGV Wellness Week. Today's topic is chronic pain and holistic healing. Our next presentation is with Alexis Cardenas, founder of Urban Wellness Apothecary and Tea Bar. Alexis is a clinical herbalist. She helps people connect to their health through personalized plant medicine, reading the body's own patterns and honoring the belief that no two people and no two remedies are ever quite the same. I hope you enjoyed today's presentation.
Good morning. Thank you first for having me. My name is Alexis. I own Urban Wellness here in Harlingen. Today, I kind of want to just answer 3 questions really with what I'm talking about, and that's how herbalists choose the herbs and what each herb is doing in the body, and why don't all women need the same herbs. And so, one of the first things we learn in clinical herbalism is that we don't choose herbs because they're popular or they're trending on TikTok. No, we choose these herbs based on patterns of the body, based on what our body needs, as far as does it need warmth. And different traditions like traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, they all have different words to describe these types of patterns, but in the end we're all talking about the same kind of thing. We're all talking about a pattern. We're all talking about tissue states and energetics. And so as a clinical herbalist, refer to these observations as the body's energetics and states. And so we ask questions like, is this tissue hot or cold, dry or moist, tense or relaxed? Is it stagnant? Is it moving well? And so when we start to ask these kind of questions and we start to make these observations, we start to get a bigger picture of what the body is actually asking for. Cold, hot. But if you think about it in just simple terms, we're very acclimated to these words. We know them very well. You know, when it's hot outside, you want something cold, you want something refreshing, you want something to cool down. When it's cold outside, you want something warm, you want something comforting. And so these are things that we know innately because it's in our body, it's in our DNA. Our body knows these things. And when we learn to recognize these patterns in the body and how to connect them to patterns of the plants, because we don't only have these energetics, the plants also have the same energetics. So when we learn the patterns and the energetics and tissue states of our body, we're able to choose the plants that are best to help bring those tissue states back into balance. We're talking about different tissue states and different energetics and things. Every plant also has a medicinal personality and purpose. Sometimes the body's asking for tissue repair, and sometimes it's asking for moistening. Sometimes it's asking to be relaxed. When the body needs to be restored or it needs tissue repair, whatever that may be. If you think about when we cut ourselves, that tissue needs to be repaired. It starts repairing itself. So one of my favorite herbs is calendula and plantain. Those are wonderful tissue restoring herbs. Calendula supports healthy tissue repair. It soothes irritated skin and really supports the mucous membranes. And it's been traditionally used to encourage healthy lymphatic movement. Plantain supports irritated tissues too, really helps maintain healthy mucosal integrity. When we're looking to moisten, marshmallow leaf is probably one of the first things that I go to, or marshmallow root to moisten and relax. It almost offers like a coating, so very protective also. This is just a little bit of what the herbs do as far as their actions. Now, at the bottom of here, it says one plant may answer more than one need. The formula changes per the pattern because lavender is very relaxing, meaning, okay, when we have a lot of tension, and how do you know you have tension? It's very easy when you think about your shoulders, they're up by your ears and you just feel very tense. And when we need that relaxing or that relaxation, chamomile, lavender, rose, those are all wonderful for relaxing, but they don't fit just in one nice box. Their properties are lavender also has antimicrobial properties. So all because chamomile is great for digestion doesn't mean that it wouldn't be wonderful in a steam, is basically what I'm saying. They have so many wonderful properties and they help whether it's internally or externally, where you're drinking it in a tea or doing a steam. Depending on the pattern that we see and the needs of the body that we're looking at, is really going to decide what herb is going to be best and what type of herbal actions are going to be best. And that really is the key to matching either a tea or a steam to the body. Herbal medicine is supposed to be personalized. It should be personalized. These formulas change with the woman and with the season they're in. Of course, somebody who has a period is in a different season than somebody who is in perimenopause or active menopause. Some women who've had babies, some are just in their preconception stage. And so different patterns call for different herbs, different seasons call for different herbs, and a formula really should follow the woman, the pattern and the season that she's in. While I'm not the only herbalist here in the valley, these are just some things that you really should consider when you start to look into herbal medicine and how it could be, how it could be helpful for you, because herbal medicine can be very helpful, but you do have to consider that your formulas should be for you. Your herbalist should be looking at the patterns. They should be looking at the season that you're in order to give you a good suggestion for herbal medicine. Because while these might not be pharmaceuticals, this is where we get our pharmacy from. We get it from plants. 80% of our pharmaceuticals comes from plants or a plant chemical. And I think it's just absurd when things are said that, oh, don't drink the chamomile tea, but here, take this pill. And it's just silly. But this is where our medicine came from. We wouldn't have the medicine today if we didn't have the plants. So it's very important that, while no, these are not like pharmaceuticals, and it's, yes, there's some toxic herbs, but chances are you're not going to overdose on herbs, but they are going to be very helpful and beneficial for what your body is needing. Really just realizing that herbal medicine should be personalized for you is really something that's important when you start your herbal medicine journey, no matter what you're doing, whether it's yoni steaming or just taking in an herbal tea for diabetes or whatever it is. We hold trauma and we hold all these things in our body. It causes a disconnect between our body and things. And so we go through these traumas and they cause a break in our connection. And so we need to rebuild that connection between the heart, the mind, and the body. But when we go through this trauma, it starts to manifest in physical ways. And so when we deal with something in that trauma, in that disconnect, we also will start to manifest physically. And that is that cold or tense. If you think back to these kind of traumatic things that have happened, how did it make your body feel at that time? If you think it caused you to be tense, that tension lives inside your body still. And so then you start to see those type of patterns manifesting physically again in your body, except maybe it's a little bit different now, but you start to see a coldness, a disconnect, a congestion, stagnant patterns where things aren't really moving. And so most of the time is really where you need to reconnect. Your body needs to let go of some of these physical things that are manifesting, because the external steaming is going to be the local tissues. It's going to bring warmth, especially to that cold that we keep talking about that happens. We want warmth. We don't only want warmth on the outside. Of course, we want it on the inside. It's also its own self-care, its own type of connection. It is a type of self-care ritual, and especially when you are trying to move past these kind of traumas. And the tea is internal support. Your liver is so important. The liver is our filter. The liver health and liver function is super important. So in in helping the tissues, which is the outside and all that, we really need to focus the work on the inside too, which is clearing those extra hormones. And on the side note, the liver also holds trauma. It holds negative emotions. It holds our trauma. It holds our sadness, our grief, our anger. And so the teas are really working on a whole energetic system, or the teas that I formulate, that is my kind of thought process behind formulating the teas is that it needs to be a whole body. The nervous system, teas are going to be super wonderful for the nervous system. And so when we have to do the work, we have to do the internal work, and that is the nervous system. And then the lymphatic, making sure everything's moving, the blood is building. Just our diet, our medicine, everything affects the liver. Everything goes to the liver. So our liver blend is something that I would suggest for that. Our sweetheart blend is going to be something that is created for that cold, sluggish, stagnant patterns that we keep talking about. The medicine begins by listening to the body, the heart, and her story. And the right herb, the right woman, the right time. That's pretty much the best way to sum everything up. This quote here: the plants don't force the body to heal. They're not forcing anything. God created us with the ability. Our bodies are more than able. They are built for it, right? Except sometimes with the kind of lives we live and the things that happen to us, we kind of forget. We get caught in this disconnect that we keep coming back to. So the herbs, they remind the body how to heal. They remind us that we do have what it takes. There isn't anything wrong with us. We just need to come back into balance. And so the plants aren't forcing the healing. They're reminding us of what we already know, what is in our DNA, what runs through our body already. And we need to get back to reconnecting with this type of medicine and having these conversations in our women's circles, not just the elders or not just the older, but where we're talking about this to our daughters, where we're talking about this to our nieces, to the younger generation. So these traditional practices continue, and we're just not having these conversations. I really just want to say thank you first for having me again.